Oh, hey, welcome back to Tiny Little Victories. I am your host, Jennifer Kite Powell, and I'm so happy that you came back to listen to this episode with Dr. Jenn Hintzsche. But before we talk about what Dr. Jenn has done and how she's created life-changing moments for people here when it comes to making babies, I want to thank you all for listening and following and let you know some great news. Number one, we have our very own set of social channels now for you to follow and connect with. That is on Twitter/X. You can follow us there. It's tiny_little_V's, tiny little V's. And we also have a channel on LinkedIn for all of you who love that LinkedIn channel, which is the same as it is on Twitter, tiny_little_V's. So go check us out, follow us, interact with us, scream at us, talk to us. We have a very big thanks out to Mercury Global Partners, who has come on board to create those channels and manage those channels. So thank you, Mercury Global Partners, for that. Now, our next guest is Dr. Jenn Hintzsche, and she founded a company called fertile science. But before I talk about what they do and have her on the show, she had a problem. She couldn't get pregnant. And she also got fed up with the medical community telling her that she had unexplained infertility, because as a child, she was always like, why? She was questioning everything. She had unexplained infertility, and the medical community kept telling her they didn't know, pushing a lot of very expensive fertility tests, which, a lot of people can't afford. And she basically had enough. So she's going to tell us her story, tell us her journey. And now there are lots of babies out there, thanks to Dr. Jenn. So stay tuned for this next episode with the Trailblazer, Dr. Jenn Hintzsche. Today on this show, we have a phenomenal guest who is seriously credentialed. And just before I introduce her, I want to just say one thing. This show is about innovation and discovery. And this guest, Dr. Jenn Hintzsche, had a problem, had a solution that she wanted to fix for herself. And now she's ended up creating something that the whole world can use. It's going to be exciting to tell you about it. So on that note, I'll say, welcome, Dr. Jenn, to Tiny Little Victories.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
So excited that you're here. And I just want to let everybody know that I'm going to credential you a little bit, because your background in education is absolutely stunning. And Dr. Jenn is also the CEO and founder of a company called PherDal Fertility Science. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. But let me just tell you the things she's done in her life to get there. She has a Bachelor of Arts in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. I mean, come on. She has a Master of Science degree in Bioinformatics from Northern Illinois University. I want to talk about that. She has her Doctor of Philosophy in Bioinformatics. And I just love the fact, Dr. Jenn, that you brought together science and philosophy. It's like a Reese's peanut butter cup. It's a perfect match.
I love that. No one's ever said that before. It's a good one.
Really? I put that on your LinkedIn page, like Reese's peanut butter cup of degrees. And she also has her postdoc in oncology and cancer biology from the University of Colorado at Anschutz Medical Campus. And just by saying that, I'd be like, whoosh. And my big question to you is, when you were getting all of these degrees, did you know what you were working towards at that point in your life? You obviously love science, but you love philosophy. What was the reasoning behind the combination of these degrees?
Insecurity. No. I always say that I was that little kid that goes, hey, why? But why? But why? And then, I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go to college. And my parents were, my brother and I were the first generation.
Wait, stop that. You didn't even think you wanted to go to college, and you have 5 degrees now.
Yeah. So the joke is once I went, they were like, can you please stop going to school? And I was like, this is great. So my mom took a picture of me on my last day getting my doctorate, where she was like, it's the 33rd grade. And I think Jen's finally going to be done. And I was like, I think I'm going to go to a postdoc. And she's like,
Yeah.
okay, like there's a real world out there. You should try.
So I mean, at that point, once you start with these degrees, I mean, you had the science background, the biology background, which obviously served you for this company that you've created. But what was your motivation for the philosophy degree?
So, the doctorate of philosophy is just kind of what they give, like that's like what the PhD is. But what I studied is biology and computer science.
Okay.
So those are the two that I kind of brought together. But it's
That you brought.
all like they call it the doctorate of philosophy because it's all a lot of theoretical, not
Yeah.
always useful life skills, but a lot
Yeah.
of
Well, yeah.
theory.
I mean, like, it's all about theory, right? And I think, Einstein was all about theory, technically, right? He was
Yeah,
all about
yeah. So
theories.
it's all that
So,
kind of, theoretical thinking. That's where
yeah.
that comes into play.
But that probably really comes in like the Reese's peanut butter cup. I mean, these two things do really complement each other. The idea of understanding the theory behind the science and then application of that science. Those do seem like a match made in heaven to me.
Yeah. And and then the other side is the computer science that I
Yeah.
nerded out on cuz that was like I remember someone telling me that I should go try coding. And I was like, I mean, I'm a nerd, but I'm like not that kind of nerd.
Not that far down the nerd
And
trail,
I was
right?
like, oh, I am. Here I am. I like fell in love with coding. And then
You
being
did. So you
able,
did go do it.
yeah. So what I would do when I was still in school, what I would do is um, individually, I would write code that would analyze someone's tumor. So I studied melanoma. So if someone
Mhm.
came into the clinic, I worked for an oncologist, we would take a biopsy of their tumor. We would do DNA sequencing. So I was the nerd that wrote the code that figured out, hey, here's your mutations. And our approach was it doesn't matter if it's melanoma, we're going to look at any drug that we know can hit the different
Mhm.
mutations in your personal tumor. So even if it's a
Yeah.
lung cancer drug, that doesn't matter. So this personalized cancer therapy that um, is what I would then report back. I'd say, okay, to our oncology board, I'd say, here's our patient, here's the different treatments that we're predicting are
Yeah.
gonna work for this person. Um, and yeah, it has that theory, but then computer science is ones and zeros. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it, it's a combination of the Reese's peanut butter cup of
Yeah.
all the things.
It really is, and it's so holistic. And I think when I went back and was like doing a little research on you, I was looking at this, this progression through your education, and then mapping it over into these pretty incredible track record of the things you've been doing. I mean, you using code to analyze, someone's tumor, but you also have been your product manager for Omnicell. You were the product manager of data and business intelligence at I can't even I'm Verstand AI, I think was the name of the
Yeah.
company. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Verstand. You are literally like this little unicorn in a way. I'm seeing you in these positions where we talk about women not being in STEM, and you are on the board
I was like, can I get
across
all
the
of the stems? Yeah.
yeah, all you have all the stems. I mean, where's art in this? I feel like there's some art we're missing in here. Maybe we can get to that. But you also been the CEO of bioinformatics. You have been at Medispin as a director of product management, which leads me to what you created 2 years ago, which was PherDal. And like, is that a play on words, or what's going on with that name?
So that is a play on words of being told that I was infertile,
Okay.
and I proved them wrong, and I did that
Yes.
using my PhD. So I spell fertile with a PhD,
So it's like a
PhERDAL.
really good dig. It's like a super
Uh,
good dig.
it is like, yeah. Remember how you told me I couldn't be a mom? Guess what?
Y- I'm a mom, so
So I'm a mom. I
yeah.
am in fact fertile. I am not infertile, as you wrote in my
Hmm.
medical wrote in my
Unbelievable.
medical record, which cut off my insurance. and meant that I would have to pay
Oh,
cash for a fertility treatment. And now I'm going to offer it for everyone. So yeah, it's out of spite.
yeah, I love that. I love spite is a very great motto. It's like a vengeance is a dish served super cold. So
Yeah.
I am wanted to finish and I didn't, but you are the CEO and founder of PherDal Fertility Science, which stemmed from your being told, and I didn't know about this insurance cutoff. We can get into that, but you created the first FDA approved in-home insemination kit in the world, first ever.
Yeah.
Don't put baby in the corner, man. She'll come out soon, right?
Yeah, it's you know, the funny thing is, like, I tripped and fell on my face yesterday, and like, I'm like, I don't know how to walk. So like, you're really talking me up here. It makes me feel great. But all of these things were done out of basically necessity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
trying to solve my own problems initially.
And I think that's what's so exciting about what you've created. So maybe we can tell the listeners a little bit of story. So you've had 16 months of unexplained infertility, and then you went on this journey where people basically said no and wrote you up gave you a medical condition, which changed the chain was that you don't get insurance. And so, I mean, I know that you have children now, right? So maybe take us through what's the story of that 16 months. What was happening in your brain when you were like hearing this and you're like, you know what? I've had it. Damn it. I've had it.
Yeah, there was definitely a moment where uh, so I got married. I was 32, and my whole life I was spent trying not to get pregnant, right? Like I have to finish 33rd grade, I have to I,
34th grade to go. So
right, like so, not while I'm still in school. So as soon as we got married, actually a little bit before we started trying to get pregnant. And keep in mind, my doctorate's biology too. So I'm like, hey, egg, sperm, easy. Like, here we go. And that wasn't the case. So we're at about like 6 months of trying, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, we joke like in college, like we thought we could get like pregnant from a toilet seat. Like, and we're like,
that's
how have
so
we been?
true.
Yeah. And then I'm like, how have we been trying for this long? And it's not happening. Like, this is like literally your most basic human function is to reproduce. And so,
Yeah, it's interesting because Teresa Neal from
mhm.
Emovate was on the podcast and she was talking about how, she knew these things about a woman's body. She was talking about other applications and she was saying that sometimes she was like, I've had kids. I didn't even know this about my body. How
Yeah,
do we know that you can't get pregnant from a toilet seat? Like when you think about it, you say it out loud, which I'm glad we're saying it out loud for everybody out there. But it's like, why do we even think that way?
right. And why, like, and what I found out too is I had no idea going through 33rd grade and beyond. So I was like, did I miss the year where I was taught what my ovulation cycle was? Because I had no idea. Our customers now will say like, I feel so stupid. And I go, okay, I get that you feel stupid, but I want to tell you it's not you because I took every class you could take and no one told me. So I was like, I tried every class. I have a
Nobody
doctorate
tells
in
you
it.
that really. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody tells you that. And they also don't tell you like how to do your taxes. Like it's like two things we just don't talk about.
Right. And so, I start tracking my ovulation. I go to my OB at 8 months, and the data nerd I am, I have like all of my ovulation data that I've now tried to teach myself and then presenting to her. And I'm like, I'm not pregnant. I'm 32. Like, this is my last egg. Help, you know? And she laughed and she told me to have a glass of wine and relax.
Oh, what?
Yeah. And I left that
I'm
appointment.
sorry. I'm sorry, but that is oh man.
Right. Like she goes, it takes most people get pregnant within a year. You just need to relax. I don't know if you've been able to tell, but like when I set a goal, I achieve it. So I'm a little bit type A. So I was like, you don't understand. We're at 8 months. Like, I was supposed to be pregnant 8 months ago. I should be having a child right now. I'm not even pregnant.
Did it surprise you that a woman told you that? Would you
Yeah.
more expect that from a man?
I think they're well intentioned, but they don't get it unless they've been through it. But I don't know, because I've been insulted on my infertility journey by both
Everybody.
sexes. Yeah. So yeah, so she goes, if you don't get pregnant in the next 4 months, like you have to wait 12 months before you can see a specialist, then I'll refer you. So those 4 months, my newlywed husband turned into my sperm donor. It was awful. Like, being married to me during that time as a scientist, I'm like, hey, it's Tuesday at 3 p.m. This is our most likely chance. Need you to get home right here. I'm not going to pretend that this is sexy or fun or whatever. Like, we have a job to do. And like, can you imagine being married to me? Oh my God.
I mean, I think probably he chose you for a reason. So he probably can, if he was on the show, he'd probably say, yeah, but like I was a science lab rat.
He's a mechanical engineer, so
he's a mechanical engineer. Can we make jokes about that? Mechanical engineer, a scientist. So he knew the mechanics of making this work.
He knew the mechanics of literally, like, he is. Yeah. So we there's so many jokes, but yeah. So we go to the fertility clinic, and I'm hopping around half naked, and I'm like, poke, prod me, whatever, bring everybody in the room. I do not care. Like, I'm here to get my baby. Like, I remember I was skipping. I was like, all right, we're finally going to figure it out. They're going to tell me what's wrong. I'm walking out of here, basically pregnant already. Let's get this show on the road. So all day, my husband has to go give a sample, and then they're doing blood tests and all of this. And so then we sit down, and this is the moment that this is where this fight happened. He said, we did all the testing and everything looks normal. Everything looks great. And I was like, what? What do you mean everything looks great? Obviously, I'm not pregnant. Like, did you find out I was pregnant when you were in there? Like, nothing's great. And he said, so what that means is you have unexplained infertility. And I started laughing, because if you remember, I'm doing personalized cancer therapy for my day job. This person, after one day of looking at me, diagnosed me literally with the word unexplained. Like, that's in the DSM-5 for some reason. And I'm like, you just threw up your hands and were like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think yes. And to take a tiny little sidetrack, I think if you Google unexplained infertility, it's like the vanillest of vaguest, explanations, when it basically says it's when fertility testing hasn't found a cause to explain a person or couple's infertility. And I wanted to stop here and interject that, because if you do make a Google search of all of this stuff, there's literally nothing. It's everybody says the same thing. It's unexplained. It's unexplained. It's unexplained. However, if you Google why fertility rates are going down in the world, people are not getting pregnant, smoking. The biggest thing that comes up across the internet is smoking. And in developed countries, we have a higher possibility of infertility than we do in underdeveloped countries. And I guess putting all that together in your story journey, is that something that you see now, since you've created PherDal and it got FDA clearance, and now people are finding that this unexplained infertility is actually not so unexplained, and this kid is helping people become fertile, in a way, pregnant?
Yeah. And the key is, you're spot on. The key that I'm finding is, well, so in that appointment, I was like, explain it. Like, I'm not accepting unexplained.
Yeah.
Like, explain it. And then they couldn't. And I was like, I'm going to go read all the scientific research I can get my hands on.
Yeah.
And smoking, yes, there's a lot of lifestyle factors.
Yeah.
But also there is this whole issue of the vaginal microbiome. So when you're in your like 20s, if you think of fertility as a scale, right? So like
Mhm.
you're in your 20s, like, everything's in your favor. But as you start to age, and then if you have lifestyle choices, if you have multiple partners, what happens in Vegas does not stay in Vegas, it stays inside your body. And so you actually carry little microbes from all your partners, and that actually can change the pH and make it an acidic environment that will kill sperm before it ever even has a chance to meet the egg.
It sounds like a commercial for Clorox wipes. It
Right?
kills the bacteria before. But that is something, again, coming back to like not knowing your bodies. We don't teach this stuff. We don't really educate people on
Right.
this like
Like
you.
I had to go down Google Scholar rabbit hole to find
Yeah, it's a
like,
rabbit hole.
oh yeah, to find like what are people doing? And so what they suggested to me in this appointment, well, so unexplained infertility meant that my insurance would no longer cover treatment because the doctor didn't know
Right.
what the hell was wrong with me. So why would
Right.
insurance pay for it? So
Yeah.
he handed me this nicely well prepared loan application for $10,000. I am so grateful. I now joke like I wouldn't take out a $10,000 loan, but I raised
Yeah.
630,000 to get FJ clearance. Like,
But basically, you crowdfunded to get
yeah,
to market by the PherDal families that had used and bought the kit.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So, I, I, I realized that what they were trying to suggest was basically to put my husband's sperm closer to the egg. So I found
Mhm.
out that there was another process called intracervical insemination, which is like an inch lower. And the research had shown that if you did it sterilely in the clinic, it had the same live birth rate and was non-invasive. And I'm like, wait. You're telling me there's a way easier way to do this, and why can't I do it myself at home? And the key is sterilely delivering the sperm closer to the egg, which
Okay,
is,
sterile delivery. Okay.
and so the mechanical engineer that was my sperm donor at the time, now husband again, he, I was like, I remember driving on the way home and he was like, hey,
I love that.
aren't you excited? Like we at least have, we at least have a plan because he knows I
Yeah.
have plans. And I was like, no, we're not doing that. He's like, what do you mean
Yeah.
we're not doing it? You would do anything to become a mom. I'm like, you're right.
But
But
not
like,
that.
but he can't explain it. So why are we going to risk our financial situation
Yeah.
for a
Good point.
solution to an unknown problem?
Yeah.
I go, if he could tell me what was wrong, I would be in there, cut me open, whatever you
Yeah.
need to do. The
Yeah.
fact that they wouldn't take the time to explain it pissed
Yeah.
me off, really.
I love your approach to everything. I get it. Like if you can explain it, then maybe I'll go down that path. But the fact that it's just like toss your hands in the air and it's like, oh well, it's unexplained, and the whole world knows that there's this percentage of people, 17.5% of people who have infertility. It's like 1 in 6 people in the world that
Yeah.
are, considered unexplained infertility, which is kind of a large number. And I guess I want to get to this kit because it's really very interesting. So it's an at-home insemination kit. It's sterile. It's the only FDA cleared kit. So tell the audience about this kit. It's like, I love your tagline, by the way. Clinical precision meets home comfort. Like that. Does that
That
resonate with
is like
you?
what I mean, I hope so. I mean, we're selling. So I like the feedback.
What is some of the feedback?
Well, pregnancy announcements. So, babies, and uh, and that's the best part of what we do. But yeah, that drive home from the fertility clinic, instead of going down this path,
Yeah.
I basically was like, hold my beer. Let me see if I can figure out something. And then I was like, hey, I have this idea.
Yeah.
And he's like, you want me to what? But really, at the end of the day, it's a sterile cup It's a sterile syringe, and it's a kit that contains 3 syringes, 3 jars. You use it your 3 most fertile days of your cycle.
Okay.
Our second month of use, my beautiful 5-year-old daughter Lois was conceived from the
I
kit that
love
my
that.
husband and I
From,
invented.
from unexplained to 5 months later after you develop this. Wow.
2 months. Yeah.
Oh, okay. And another thing I really love, Dr. Jenn, is that, and I really hate to make a comparison to popular or older former popular TV shows, but I noticed when I was doing some research that you have a lot of people posting the babies, but they say, "Here's my fertile baby. Here's the fertile baby. Here's the
I
fertile
love
baby."
that.
I love that, and it just is this idea of you not just helping women reach whatever, if they want to be a mom, but also men. I think men are a big part of this equation as well. I mean, as
We
your
have
husband.
we have a lot of male customers, which people are often surprised by.
Yeah.
But a third of infertility is unexplained, and I
Oh,
think it's like 40% is male factor
yeah.
infertility.
Yeah.
And I always describe it as like, if if Michael Phelps had to swim a full lap, we're dropping him off halfway down the pool. Like, he only has to swim half as far.
I love that. I love that.
And that's the simplest way to describe it. Like,
Yeah.
it puts everybody halfway towards the end of the race. And so,
It's a great
yeah, we, it started as a side hustle. Like, let me just see if I can take my traumatic experience and spite and help some people. Like, that's how I was going to process through it. And I made 200 kits. They sold out in 90 days and created 34 beautiful fertile babies.
That's what a great success rate. That's incredible. So what's next for fertile fertility science?
Yeah, we crowdfunded, like you said, which again, like, just necessity. Like, they told me I needed $1 million for FDA clearance, and I was like, yeah, I don't have that. So, I was like, anybody think this is a good idea? And for some reason, I always say I felt like I was going to start like telling people that I was crowdfunding was like, felt like I was running naked down the street, and I thought all of these people would be like, look at this crazy lady running naked down the street.
Wow.
And instead, what happened is everyone was like, oh, we're running naked down the street. Let's go. Like, let's change the world. Yeah. And I was like, well, this is awesome. And I'm so grateful to those 433 people. Yeah, because we got the FDA clearance.
That's truly incredible, because we all know how difficult it is to get FDA clearance. And so I'm going to put all of this in the notes, and for everybody out there, it's PherDal.com, spelled PHERDAL.com. And you can follow Jenn, you can follow their blog, you can follow their story. We're going to put all that in the notes. And so what's next for Dr. Jenn and PherDal? What's next for you guys?
I need to prepare for Christmas, because we're going to have so many babies by then. And I want to be an aunt to every single one of our fertile babies. But we just, officially launched, and we are, direct to consumer. You can go on our website. It's $199 for, 1 month. You can try it up to 6 months. And really, like, when I was laughed out of that OB's office, like, what I made is what I wish was available then.
Yeah.
And it's a great first step before you go into debt, attempting to solve a problem that they don't necessarily understand. And so my goal, I grew up in a small town on a farm. I had to drive 2 hours to see a specialist. And so this can be delivered right to your door. Like, I think every single person deserves to have this as an affordable option that they can try first. And, motherhood shouldn't be a privilege of who can take out a $10,000 loan.
All the snaps for that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And so my goal is to get it to as many people that that need it as we can. And so having, officially launched just a few weeks ago, and the positive tests are running, coming in, and I literally cry with every single one because I'm like, can I send you presents for birthdays? Like, I have pictures up in my office.
The gift for you is the people continue to buy it and use it and share their fertile babies with you. And I am so grateful that you had made the time to come on this show and share your story and talk about fertile. And I love what you said. Getting it shouldn't have to cost you $10,000, $20,000 to do this. I mean, and I love that you're sort of challenging the system in a way. It'd be great if you would send that guy or that woman that told you to relax and have a glass of wine a kit.
Guess what? Yeah. I called up the fertility clinic, the same guy that told me that I couldn't get pregnant. And he was like, because I got pregnant and I was being, I was like, hey, I'm not doing your treatment. And by the way, I'm pregnant. They're like, we'll still, take care of you. And then he's like, how did you get pregnant? And I was like, so I invented this device and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, okay, sure.
Yeah. He didn't like that. But I think it's so uplifting and shows what you said. This, you can't keep Dr. Jenn down. It's like this idea of constant quest for knowledge and asking. You kept saying, as you were a kid, you said you always ask why. And I'm very happy to hear that you have not stopped doing that. And I'm sure many women and men out there today are also happy that you questioned everything. So thank you, Dr. Jenn, for coming on Tiny Little Victories. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much for giving me the space, and for, hopefully the 1 in 5 people that are out there right now, 1 in 6 globally are hearing that, they're not alone and there's hope. And thank you for providing that.
I love that. And I love that. And like I said to everyone, we're going to put this in the show notes. And on that note, thank you for tuning in to Tiny Little Victories, and we'll see you next time. Hey, you've been listening to Tiny Little Victories with me, your host, and our very special guest, Dr. Jenn Hintzsche. Now, as part of being loyal listeners to Tiny Little Victories, we have a very special offer for you today. Go check out the show notes and you'll find a discount code for $10 off for Tiny Little Victory listeners only, off of the insemination at-home kit from ferTal. That's right. You want to get to making babies? Then you can do it. The kit is normally $199, but with this very special code, Tiny Little V's, you can get that kit for $10 off. So go check it out. And if you want to spread the word, if somebody wants to get pregnant, they've been unable to get pregnant, maybe this kit will be able to help them. Isn't that great? Making the world a better place. Get out there and make some babies.